This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm here with the one and only Anthony Ogogo. It's been a long time since you last been on the channel, mate, but how are we?
It's been a minute. I'm all right, thank you, mate. I'm doing okay. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Let's get straight into it. After the Raw, a BT Sport documentary coming out next month. It deals with the psychological side of leaving sport. Yeah, just talk me through it.
Mate, so Brian O'Driscoll, one of the greatest rugby players ever to have graced this planet, came to my house. We sat down in my garage at home and we just spoke, man. We just talked. I went places with him that I've seldom went in, like interviews before. I was very candid, as I always am, very honest. I spoke about my struggles, having to retire from boxing with my dreams unfulfilled, having to retire from boxing, and after 18 years of giving it my everything, like everything, my heart, my soul, my sweat, my tears, everything, having to retire without anybody other than who's trained me or trained alongside me. Nobody got to see how good I was, how good I really was, or how good I really could have been. And heartbreaking. Olympic Games, my mother, my hero, was laid in a hospital bed the entire Olympics. I didn't do a thing for a month before the Olympics. I sat by a bedside, I combed her hair, I held her hand. She suffered a brain aneurysm. Everyone thought she was going to die. Didn't throw a punch for a month. I did one sparring session beforehand and Fred Evans broke my rib in the spar. And I sat on the ring apron, had a broken rib, had a dislocated shoulder, had tears in my Achilles tendons that I'd later need 2 years out. This would come out in a fight, in a pro fight against Judd in Germany. And worst of all, I thought, my mum was going to die. I'm never going to see her again. And that was my Olympic Games. And I went there with all that. I was a huge middleweight. Well, I struggled to make middleweight. I was weighing in the middleweight in Olympic Games, 72.8 kilos, 73 kilos, underweight because I could not eat. I was sick of worry. And people can only had the hardest draw, beat the world champion, and I got to semi-final. The worst person I fought, the Dominican, Ukrainian, and German, had all beaten him. And he beat me. So I had nothing left. And people judged me off that with no idea what I was going through emotionally and physically. And in the pros, my pro career, man, like I had everything required, the ability, the determination, the work ethic, the willing to sacrifice. And it just went so bad and so like everything went wrong and nobody saw how good I could have been. Nobody knows, right? Other than my close friends in boxing, I'm left-handed. I'm a natural southpaw. Nobody spent the time to train me to be a southpaw because I walked in the gym as a 12-year-old. They told me to stand this way. I boxed. It wasn't until I won the schoolboy championships the first year I was 14. I wrote my name down with my left hand. My coach went, "What are you doing?" I went, he said, "Why are you using left hand?" So I'm left-handed. "Oh, fuck. You should have been a southpaw." Brilliant. Let's do southpaw then. First day in the gym, southpaw. I'll go hit. No, change back. And I was never allowed to change. And it wasn't until I'd already hurt my eye, I started training with Barry O'Connell, State of Mind Fitness and Hammersmith. He said, "Let's go back to square one." And everything was southpaw. Man, I was so fucking good, man. I could have been so good. But I mean, no one got to see it. And I've got to live with that. And it is what it is. But, life moves on. And I'm trying to roll with the punches, as we say in the business.
Yeah, because, a lot of people finish their career on their terms. Again, 2012 Olympics, bronze medalist. Again, lows going for you, picked to be great things. And then this injury happens and then boxing stops and your life completely changes.
Oh, mate, massively. 27, it was inconceivable for me to think I was walking to the ring as a 27-year-old and that would be my last fight. Like, I had 9 surgeries on my eye. And even before the eye, it was the shoulder. Shoulder came out 3 times in my career. Achilles, 4 surgeries on my Achilles. It was something after something after something. And the one thing that makes me feel better is my wife's into like spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
I did a reading. I did a spiritual reading after when I retired. She eventually got me to do it. And they turned a card over of a deck of 300 cards. And they said, rejection is spirit's protection. And the one thing I cling on to, it might be a load of shit, but this is what I cling on to, is yeah. So if I'd have carried on boxing, something worse was going to happen. It was I hurt my hand a few times, then my shoulder, then my Achilles, then my eye. They were getting worse and worse and worse. Like maybe my next fight or a few fights down the line, I was lined up to fight Canelo in a couple of fights' time. If the eye goes against him, Craig Cunningham, really, really, really good fighter, couldn't punch for toffee. My eye was damaged going into the fight. It was worse than during that fight. Had that happened against Canelo the year later, I'm probably sitting there, brain damaged, barely talking to you, or worse, maybe. So I choose to believe that it wasn't meant to be for me. And thankfully, I'm 78% blind on my left eye. And thankfully, that's all I've lost, and my career. But yeah, listen, mate, it was difficult. I wasn't able to walk away on my own terms and achieve the things that I think I was. Callum Smith, right? Unbelievable boxer. Great boxer. Really good. I ain't taking him out whatsoever. Callum Smith is such a good boxer. We've all seen him in the last 10 years, how good he is. On the Great Britain squad, I was the middleweight. He was my reserve boxer. I was injured, shoulder injury, this injury. He went to all his tournaments, and on the squads back then, he had 2 or 3. Frank Buglioni also. Me, Frank Buglioni, Callum Smith, all the middleweights. We spread out the tournaments. I beat Frank 15-2. He turned pro. He wasn't going to get ahead of me, so he turned pro. Me and Callum left on the squad fighting out for the Olympic spot. I had a bad shoulder injury. I was out for a number of months. He had surgery. He went to all his tournaments and my tournaments. He got double bubble. He got beat so many that they sent me to the Olympic qualifier with 1 arm rather than him with 2. He had to go up. He went up to light heavyweight in the second qualifier, and he's very hard done by not to qualify. As again, a really, really, really good boxer. The point I'm making is I was better than him, right? And I know it doesn't work out like this always. At the very least, that was my level. What he's gone on to do and become world champion and fight Canelo, and now probably going to win another one at light heavyweight. Like, at the very least, that was my level. I should have achieved that. Me and Joshua, the boys on the squad, that was my level. But listen, it doesn't happen. Some things aren't supposed to be, and it's a shame because, I never foresee it happening the way it's happened. But listen, life goes on, and
what are you hoping that people get out this documentary? Because obviously you've got Gareth Southgate on it, AP McCoy, Johnny Bairstow, and yourself. One of the things that was said, which is so compelling, was the largest killer of men under the age of 50 is suicide. What do you want people to get out of this documentary?
So that was it, mate. That was it. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, I feel it's my duty to speak openly and candidly about this because, as you mentioned it now, just that I don't know all the stats. I don't know all the stats. I just know that too many men die because they can't take it anymore, whatever it is. And I want people to know that I was this close from doing it myself. I was so close. I wanted to give up every single day in my life for years. Not just give up boxing. I wanted to give up, end it. I was that depressed. And every single day, I got through the next day, and I got through the next day, and I got through the next day. And I could be up, I'd be down, I'd struggle. And it's like just getting through each day. And I want to prove that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes you might have to dig further than you want to dig. And sometimes you've got to go further than you think you can go. But just keep plugging away, keep digging, keep fighting to get through. Because if you get through, so if you keep fighting, you will get through. And and I feel like it's my duty to share my story to help just one man. Just one man not do that to himself, his parents, his family, his kids, his wife, that's why.
Does this documentary, or just speaking about it anyway, does that help a lot for you?
Tough one, because I think it does sometimes, but I've done a few of these things today to promote this documentary. 100% tonight, I'll go to bed, I'll have a bad night's sleep tonight, because talking about the boxing and talking about the misdiagnosis and the eye surgeries and the this and the that, and the Olympics, my mum's illness, it'll be in the back of my head, and I'll sleep, and I'll have a bad dream tonight because I'm wound up and pissed off about it. But I think I've got to get through those bad nights here and there it does help. It does help, and like hopefully people will watch this video and they'll reach out to me on my Instagram, on my Twitter, email, and they'll say, hearing you talk about what you spoke about helped me, because when I was boom, 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 and that helps, man. That's the best healer of pain for me. Hearing how me just telling my story and being very honest, how that can help other people. That's the best thing about it. And when I retired initially, I spoke quite a lot about how I was feeling and stuff. And I got a lot of people messaging me about, how, I was able to help them. And initially, I wasn't even thinking about helping people. I was just being honest. So I think it's my duty to do so. But yeah, getting that love from people that have also been in similar situations or in situations at this moment to carry on going, it means a lot, and I don't profess to be an expert on this stuff. And I think sometimes like not being an expert helps, because I can just talk about me and what I did, and I don't know all the clever jargon around it. I just say every single day I felt shit. I tried to get through to the afternoon, and then to the night, and then to bed. Next day, same and same again. And each day, as the days and weeks and months went on, I wouldn't try to get through to the afternoon. I'd get through a whole day. And then the days would be weeks be months. And then, eventually you start feeling better about things. And yeah, personal experiences, really.
This documentary, I would have thought, would be more important than ever. It seems to be an increasing problem with men, especially within sport. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, to a degree, I do think so. But is it more prevalent now, or are people just now talking about it more now? So
Yeah, right.
Regardless, it's time people speak about certain things, and it's time we normalize. Guess what? As people, we struggle. As men, we struggle. We feel a responsibility to do a certain thing, to earn a certain amount of money, to put food on the table, and to be the men that our fathers were. My dad was in my life, fathers were, or grandfathers, or whatever. It's pressure, it's hard. And the way the world works now, we're under pressure all the time. There's pressures coming everywhere. Like everyone's getting emails every single time of the night, do this, do this. It's hard to switch off sometimes, a lot of the time. So yeah, whether it's more prevalent now than it was before, I don't know. But I think it's very important that we do speak about it and we do normalize. Guess what? As dudes, we feel shit sometimes. Let's be in this together.
You have moved on from the boxing side of it now involved within wrestling. Has that given you a new lease of life?
It has, mate. Massively, it has. I really enjoy it, and I'm very much. It sounds really cliche, and a bit shit, but I mean it. I mean, like, as a kid, my only dream in life was to represent Great Britain at the Olympic Games, and being a kid from a small town, no dad, a house full of women, working poor. We were very poor. Like that doesn't happen to people like me. People like me don't go to Olympic Games. In my little small town, little small boxing club, unfashionable, it just doesn't happen. Yeah, I did it, and I'm very proud of that. And then as a kid, I used to love watching The Rock, coolest dude in the world, muscles, the eyebrow, the baby oil on his body.
The 90s wrestling.
Yeah, he was cool. The smile, the girls liked him, or the dudes liked him. Like, who didn't want to be The Rock? And I get the chance to do that every single week now. So I'm very much living out a second childhood dream. It's loads of fun. Ain't boxing, nothing ever will be to me. But listen, it's something I really enjoy, and I really love it. And who knows, in a few years' time, this might have been my calling all along. Who knows?
Brilliant. Well, thanks for speaking to Boxing Social, Anthony. And the documentary is on BT Sport on Friday, the 9th of September at 10 p.m. But yeah, thanks so much, mate. And we'll hopefully see you down the road, mate.
Take care, mate. All the best. Thank you for having me.